Hi, my loves. Welcome back. We are going to do another everyday makeup look today. I wanted to give you another option. I know we did one recently, but I want to give you another option because every day I switch it up slightly. I'm still using a lot of the same products, but I was like, let's just do another everyday makeup look. You know what I'm saying? I got all my favorites right here. And my skin is, well, I have the sleepy tie-in, so my hair is kind of crazy, but my skin is thriving right now. And I know it's probably a lot to do with the time of the month. My skin does really well certain times of the month and not very well other times of the month, but I do attribute a lot of it to the skincare routine that I've been doing and the products I've been using. So go check out my skincare video if you're looking for some good new products. The only product I didn't mention in that video is the Paula's Choice exfoliating toner, but I've been using that for the last like 2 weeks and I really feel like it's making a difference in my pores, the size, the overall just like clarity of my skin. I still have some hormonal stuff going on around here as usual and a little bit of texture, but like I said, my skin's doing really well and I think it's a combo of a lot of those products. Let's jump in. If you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe, join the family. Let's jump in and do a little everyday makeup. Okay, so I told you guys that I just haven't been a fan of the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops. I felt like they were really overrated, but then I used them the other day and I was like, wait, I needed to give them another chance. I really loved them. So I'm gonna use them today the way I used them the other day and show you how I'm using them. So I think the key is like you have to use a good bit. And I think the other key is what product you're mixing it with. So do we wanna do a foundation or do we wanna do a BB cream today? When I'm doing like, I want makeup where like my skin feels good, but it's not heavy. Like I don't want like a heavy foundation. So like I won't be using like House Labs or YSL. Not that those are like heavy, but they're full coverage. So I'm deciding between Dr. Jart BB cream and my Giorgio Armani foundation. These are kind of like my lighter, but still like decent coverage options. I think I'm gonna go Luminous Silk because I am filming a little bit today. So I want just like a little bit more of like a perfect base. But if you're not filming and you're a normal person, the Dr. Jart BB cream, you guys already know, obsessed. That's a great everyday. So 5.9 has been gorgeous. In Luminous Silk, I used to use 5.1 and I just feel like 5.9 is so much better on me. So I'm gonna do just one pump of this. We're gonna do a little mixeroo on the back of the hand. And then just go to town. I'm not priming because the moisturizer that I use before my makeup is such a fantastic primer. I don't even know if you could call it a primer, but it's amazing. It's the Dr. Jart Ceramide moisturizer. Wow, it's good. It's like perfect for under makeup because it's not super dewy and it's still very moisturizing. Okay, so off the bat, you can see I'm way more bronzed. We need to blend this in obviously way more. And those bronzing drops like really do the trick. It's crazy. All right, I'll rub the rest in with my hands. Make sure you bring it down your neck. Once we work this all the way in, we're not gonna look as different as we do right now. But you guys know I like my foundation to be a little bit darker than my actual face just because I think the color looks better as long as I'm not orangey. Okay, so yeah, I just blended that foundation in with my fingers. I feel like it just gives a really beautiful natural look. And then I might just grab a little like stippling brush, get the excess off my hand, any foundation brush that you have, or you could use a sponge, but I just want to like blend everything in a little bit more with my brush because it's just a little more seamless. It'll get any, you know, harsh lines or anything like that. But see how this still looks like my skin, but it just looks a little healthier, like I'm a little more tan, just a little more even, but it's so natural and beautiful, so glowy, not too glowy. That little cocktail has been lovely. All right, I think we're gonna bronze next. So I told you guys I've been using the Say Sun Melt and I'll use that with my finger and it's been gorge. Like at first I wasn't sure about this product, but I've just been doing it like this. So I kind of go between this and the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. And this is the shade Light Bronze. And you can just use your finger. I love how you can be really kind of messy and like careless with this because it blends out so easily. And you can use a lot. And then you could use any brush. This Charlotte Tilbury brush is great for that, for either one of these, but I know this is kind of expensive and hard to come by. So I'm gonna go back in with this one. This is a Bare Minerals brush, but I don't know what it is about the top of this. It's more of a stippling brush. It's not as dense, but it's not super fluffy. It's like right in between, and it blends everything out so beautifully. I've been liking doing my bronzer first and then doing my concealer. I feel like I can carve out my face better. You could see this just warms up the face a little bit more. It gives my face a little bit more shape. And then when we go in with concealer, it's really gonna marry all of that together. I think I'm also gonna do blush next. For blush, I'm gonna mix my two favorite Rare Beauty shades. Not necessary to mix them. You could absolutely just use one of them. This is the shade Happy. I've talked about this a million times on my channel, but I feel like I haven't used this in a while. And then this is the shade Faith. It's a more purpley, you know, like mauve-y blush, and same exact brush. How gorgeous is that? It's so pretty. It's so natural. And now we look like we've seen sunlight within the last, you know, month, where it's just been gray here. But doesn't that look like sun-kissed and so nice? All right, time for concealer. I have yet to find a better concealer than Kosas. I use the shade 2.5C, and it's really just everything. So now that we have our bronzer and our blush on, this is really what's gonna carve out the face and brighten everything up and pull everything together. So I'm using this to not only highlight, but just like kind of shape the face. Any concealer brush you've got, a beauty sponge, whatever you like the best. Personally, I am just lazy to wet a beauty sponge lately. So I like to grab my brush because it's just easier. And this is from Lawless, but BK Beauty has a beautiful one. Real Techniques has a beautiful one. You really just want like this type of top. That's really the most important thing. And you can see I'm not wiping, like I'm not wiping the product at all. I'm literally just pushing it into the skin. Like I'm lifting up and just pushing. And this allows it to just really melt into the skin. You're not gonna have any lines from your brush. It's like I use the brush like a beauty sponge, if that makes sense. And you can see now we have some shape to the face because we use that concealer to kind of carve out those cheekbones. You can see we are a little dewy, we are a little shiny. So I wanna set. These puffs are a non-negotiable for my makeup routine. They are from Amazon. They are incredible, just to absolutely level up your makeup game. I'm using my Givenchy Prism Libre powder in the rose shade, and I'm just gonna use this to set my under eye, and then we're gonna use Cloud Set to set the rest of the face because I want a really light set. See how that just perfects and smooths the under eye? Are you dead over that? It really every time shocks me. Any excess powder, I'll just kind of like tap around the face. And you can see I'm like pretty set at this point. Now I'm gonna go in with my Kosas Cloud Set. And this is just a little bit lighter. You can use any brush for this or your puff, but I feel like this is a great setter for just the rest of the face. I don't necessarily use this under my eyes, but I will like set my lids and anywhere I get like a little oily or just want like a little bit of perfecting. This is a great product to like keep in your purse throughout the day with like a little puff and just like perfect, you know? For brows, we're using the Gimme Brow Volumizing Pencil in the shade 3.5. I need to sharpen mine. I'm really gonna use this sparingly because I don't really fill my brows in that much lately. I've just been kind of gelling them, but I do want a little bit more like definition than my natural brows. So just like that much. I love that there is the spoolie on the other side of this to like kind of comb it through the brows and blend. I've been using the Babe, I think it's called Babe Brow Serum. I love it. And I also just started using the eyelash serum the other night, so I'll report back to you guys on those, but very subtle, but just a quick little. And then I'll never stop using it, the 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. I still love that Refi brow gel for like a really laminated look. I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I just gravitate back towards this one. I think it's really, really natural looking. It holds those brows, it defines them. It's like the easiest product to work. It also doesn't get, you know, like gunky. I feel like the Refi can get gunky. You got to clean it out. It's a whole nother process. Going into my Mario Ethereal palette, just to give a little bit of something to the lid. I'm praying to God this palette is still available. I don't know if it's sold out and it's never coming back or if it's just never coming back after it sells out, but dear Lord, this is the best eyeshadow palette ever. And if it doesn't come back, I don't know what we're gonna do because this is all I use. So I'm like, I don't wanna keep showing it to you guys if you can't get it, but oh my God, it's the best. So easy to use. And this eyeshadow brush, unmatched. Angie Hot Flash, Angie Hot, BK and Angie Hot and Flashy A503. I just mix these two shades, boom, boom, boom. And that's how I get a little bit of color. Really subtle, but a little bit of color and definition on that lid. And then I'll just use the darkest brown for a little bit of like a defined lash. I don't even really use eyeliner that often anymore. I'll just use like a little narrow shadow brush and just like define the lash line this way. Just kind of flick it outward and do a little, you know, a little defined shadow. If I want a little on the lower lash line, I can do that too, but I do this like really quick. That's it. I'm gonna use this little guy to clean up the excess and kind of make sure I have that, still have that lifted effect on the eye. You guys already know Jones Road mascara. I mean, it's really insane. It looks like I just popped on falsies. That was 2 freaking swipes. So are you guys still doing bottom lash mascara? Tell me. I like change it by the day. I feel like lately I haven't been doing it much. I feel like it just makes my eyes look like brighter and more awake. But then other times I'm like, oh, it looks so bare down there. Sometimes I'll just do like a teeny bit. Okay, let that mascara dry down on the lids where you messed up and put a little blush on. This is Bubble from Persona in a Real Techniques brush. And this is quite pink. So I just wanna be careful with this that I don't get too crazy, but it just adds so much life to the face. And I always like to set my cream blush with a little powder blush. I think it just like kind of finishes off the look. Okay, now grab a clean spoolie and just flick off any crazy spots, because that mascara can get crazy. That's the one thing, it can get messy, but it doesn't matter when you can take care of it in 2 seconds like that. All right, for lips, I think I want to use my Dibs. I haven't used it in so long, and this is shade 1 on the like definer and the lip liner, the lightest. I just do like a super light kind of once over with that shade, and then I'll grab the more pink shade, it's the liner, and kind of go over it, but bring it up a little more like onto the actual lip. And then you guys know I do the outer corners. So you could just do a clear gloss, a chapstick, anything over this, and that could be like very easy, everyday neutral. But I haven't showed you guys the Tarte Lip Plump Maracuja Juicy product. I feel like I forgot to show you guys this. It's one of the best lip products ever. This is the shade Cherry Blossom. It's a little more pink than what we have going on, but wait till you see this go on. How pretty is that? Oh, and it smells amazing. It's plumping, so it's slightly tingly, nothing like aggressively tingly, but I love that. Usually what I do after my lips and cheeks are done, I realize I need a teeny bit of pink on my lid. So I'll just go back into this palette with the pink, or you could use your blush. And I'm just gonna do like a really light wash of this just over the lid. I always just kind of even out my makeup this way because those shadows are pigmented. I just like when it's all kind of pulled together. I feel like that just makes all the difference. Okay, normally I would set with my setting spray, but I don't have it right here. And truly, you don't really need it. You can see I still have like quite the glow. If you have super oily skin, you're gonna want something a little more intense than this. But if you're more dry, this is amazing. I'm combination. So sometimes I'm more oily, sometimes I'm more dry. So I can kind of like, you know, go back and forth between products. All right, guys, so that's the final look. How flawless is this base? Like, can we take a moment? That combination of products is so good. And we didn't do any shimmer today, like no shimmer on the eyes, no highlight all over the face, but we're still really glowy. I feel like by doing no shimmer, it's much more of an everyday look where like you could wear this to the office, out to run errands, and you don't look like, you know, too overdone, like you were trying too hard, but you still look very put together. It's still a full face of makeup, but I feel like it's really nice everyday makeup. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, I will link everything for you below. and I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.